Hello, friends. Tiana Dodson here to do what? Today is day six of the Read With Me challenge, where in actuality I'm doing my reading by reading to you. So really it's the more be read to by Tiana challenge. And that's cool because I'm doing my reading. Are you doing yours? So we're still reading The Forge in the Forest by Padraic Colum, and we started to read a story about a city called Ys yesterday, where we've got scandal. We've got a daughter who's doing some misdeeds. So let's go ahead and jump back in and see what's going on with our mischievous daughter Dahoot. I'm going to start my timer, my 5 minutes. Here we go. To the young men whom she had danced with before, Dahoot had said, "Open the sea gate," and they had promised to do so, and then had become fearful and despairing on account of what they had promised to do. But this young man bade her take the key herself and open the gate. "Now let me make him forget what he has asked me to do," she said to herself. They danced, and the servants in the palace who saw them dance cried out, "Dahoot is accursed, accursed!" And they crowded around where the king slept upon his purple bed, and they wakened him up. Down the stairway came the king, his great beard shaking up and down his chest. Dahoot and Gaylor ran out and away from the palace. The young man lifted her up and carried her through the long meadows and down to the wall that was built against the sea. "Open, you gate," he said, and she put the silver key that had always been hanging from her father's neck into the lock of the high gate. "I wanted another to do this," she said. "I wanted to make a man do a deed that would leave him fearful, and I wanted the sea that my mother cried to go back to come in upon the city." She unlocked the gate. They heard the crying of the seabirds beyond the wall. The sea began to push at the opened gate. Soon the waves pushed the gate wide. A seabird flying through the open gate lighted on the grass of the plain of Ys in the first light of the morning. "Beware if ever you go from me now," said Dahoot to Gaylor. "Beware if ever you come to me again," said Gaylor to Dahoot. He flung her against the wall, and he went away. She went within the palace. She heard the bells of Ys peal in alarm. Her father came to her, carrying under his arm the great book he had been reading. He took her without, and he mounted upon the horse that was the swiftest in his stables. Dahoot mounted behind him. The people cried to their king to gallop swiftly until he came to a place that the sea might not come to, and take possession of that place for the building of a new city. They cried to him while they stayed behind, mounting high upon the rocks. So Gradlon, with Dahoot behind him, galloped on and on, the sea flowing upon them as they rode. The sea dashed upon the heels of the horse. It flowed before them as they rode, and the horse splashed and plunged in the waves of the sea. And then a voice came to Gradlon, telling him that he would have to throw behind him the thing that he held dearest, so that the sea taking it might flow no further. Then Gradlon threw behind him the great book that he carried. Still the sea flowed on, and the horse splashed deeper and plunged deeper in the waves. The voice came again, telling Gradlon that he would have to throw behind him the thing that he held dearest. Then he threw from the horse his daughter, Princess Dahoot. The waves flowed over her, and then the waves ceased to flow. The sea drew away from that place, and there Gradlon halted and took possession of that place for the new city that his people would build. They came to him, leaving the high rocks, and soon they began to build the new city. But the sea flows over where the city of Ys was, and now and again the people of the new city hear the bells ring in lost Ys that is beneath the waves. That was an ending. Oh boy. So we have another minute. Let's read the next story. King Fergus and the Water Horse. The shoes with which a man could walk on the surface of the water and walk in the depths of the water once belonged to the wee folk of Faery, and they were given by them to a king in a certain land. Not gladly did the wee folk of Faery give the shoes that were part of their 3 treasures. They gave them as ransom for their king, Eobdon, who was being held by this other king. Now when this other king, Fergus was his name, obtained these shoes, he became fonder and fonder of using them. He went upon the rivers of his land, walking upon the surface of their waters, and he went down into the depths of the lakes, and to the lakes that were at the farthest parts of his kingdom he went more and more. Time. Let's finish this paragraph. On empty lakes, where the boat of a fisherman had never been, he would go walking on his fairy shoes. He could follow the wild duck and her brood across the lake, walking on the water. And then he could go down into the depths of the lake and watch all that were there, the great eels moving swiftly through the water, and the gray and speckled fishes moving up and down. Imagine that. Imagine having shoes where you could go underwater and check out what's going on there. That would be so cool. So this is where we're going to put our bookmark and close our book for today. Thank you so much for joining me and listening in to me reading for you for 5 minutes. So yeah, if you're reading with me, comment below. Let me know what you're reading. Let me know how it's going. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.